Hello.
Oh God. Wow. Sorry. I realized the last few weeks, because I have to decide where I go in my life with studying and so on, that my grandparents were my main caretakers in my life, and now I'm very financially dependent on them. So I can't just go away. I feel like that. But all my life they were very emotionally not supportive, or like, that's wrong what you feel. It's we don't accept what you want, and we don't appreciate it at all. And I always felt like that I'm just not appreciated for what I am and what I want. And now I'm somehow just stuck where I can go with them, because when I visit them, it's just like it drains so much energy to be with them, and I have to be away at least a week from them, so I can't come back, because it's just so unhealthy for me to be there, and I know that, but it's just difficult, and I'm talking to Teal Swan right now. Okay.
Have you worked with the part of you that doesn't want to go and the part that does?
Wow. No, I really resist the part that loves them somehow. That's just like crazy to say that some part lost them for me. And I realized that yesterday or somehow. So it's the perfect timing to work with that.
Okay, well, do you feel like you might be capable of going into that perspective? I know that a lot of people are going to relate to you, because even though some people even have super abusive parents or grandparents, they feel the same way. It's a natural and normal, but I want you to get as fully into that perspective as you possibly can. If you can allow yourself to do that in a safe way, what I would invite you to do right now is to let all the other aspects of your consciousness like step back a bit, and let only that part come forward that cares about your grandparents, and see if I can talk to it.
Well, my life wouldn't be as it is if I would not have them, because they always showed love with material things, where I needed more the emotional things, but they couldn't give it to me. So I'm extremely proud of having them in my life, and that they're able to give something like the money they can give money to show love. So I'm very fortunate to experience so many things through them, like just security, and just so many experiences, like traveling the world. So
do you think it's okay? Do you think it's okay to like that?
What?
Do you think it's okay to feel that way? That you're grateful for what they gave you?
On the one hand, I always get told that I can be so grateful to have them, but when I think about the person, I'm just like, somehow I don't want to be grateful, because just the way they make me feel emotionally.
You're still blended.
Yeah.
So you're still talking to me from two different parts. Do you feel that?
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So let me talk. This is what we're gonna do. The reason that's happening is that you're not feeling safe enough for me to talk to the part of you. Okay, so let's talk to the part of you that doesn't want me to talk to that part. What are you afraid will happen if I talk to the part of you that wants to feel that gratitude towards your grandparents and wants to have that relationship with them? What are you afraid is going to happen if I do that?
That I will get hurt even more if I'm going to open up to the possibility that I'm going to open up to them through love. Because, yeah, I just can't imagine I'm a completely different person when I'm with them. Just really, I can't see myself when I'm with them at all. And yeah, that part I just push away because I don't like the part of me in the situation.
So I got a question for you. Are you aware that both of you are part of the same body, right?
Yeah.
So there's literally no possible way for either of you to feel bad and be in the same body. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because you'll feel bad. If that one feels bad, you feel bad, and if you feel bad, that one feels bad. So one thing I want to put forward to you is that if we talk to that other part of you, we're going to remember that you feel this way. It's not like we're going to side with that one and you just get to suck it.
Yeah.
What I want is to end the war between you two. That doesn't mean that one gets to win and you get to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. In some way, I feel like, well, you can't change a person. So I can't really do anything to make them understand me more or to self-reflect more, because that's somehow necessary, very necessary for them. But if they are not in the position to do that, I can't do anything, I feel like. And that's very depressing, because I can't say that I would have those people in my life if they weren't my family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that's really is draining my energy, because I'm like, when I go into the room, I feel the energy and I know if I should leave or not. So it's so difficult for me to be with the energy that is so draining. And like when I was little, and I said to my mother or so, oh, I hate them so much. I was always told, like, you can't hate them, that's family and that is love and you have to love them. And now I just had to break down that love is something bad. That was a whole process, and now I have to clear that up with my family. But yeah.
Do you know that I don't agree with what they said?
That you don't agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So do you think you can trust that I can advocate for you if we talk to the other part that keeps dragging you into the relationship?
Can you say that again, please?
You're the part of Laura that's really defensive.
Yeah.
Like, you felt like your view is not okay. It's not okay to not want to see my grandparents. It's not okay to feel angry at them. It's not okay to feel abused. It's not okay to feel all the things you feel. But I don't agree. So
yeah.
I need you to see that you've got an advocate. It's like your fear of people talking to the part of you that wants to stay in that relationship is that you're just going to get suppressed and smashed. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything that I could do or say to make you trust that that's not going to happen with me?
I don't know, I just want people to appreciate and understand me, or my family especially. Yeah.
I see the desire.
Yeah. Thank you. Wow, that was like a little spark, a little explosion in my heart zone. Yeah. Cool.
What I'm wanting is for this little war that's happening inside you to end.
Yeah.
But to end that war, I gotta talk to the opposite party.
Yeah. Okay, so I really want to have a good and nice family, how I see it with friends, and that they have their problems, but they can solve it and they can talk about it. And I felt so safe in other families where I can see that they are open to seeing the emotions of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's just what I want. Just the emotional connection to the people that are closest to me in some way. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we might be able to talk to the other side of this?
That's crazy. Just so you want to decide who loves them.
Yeah, I want. Yeah, I need your permission to talk to that part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy because it feels like somehow I speak through that part because I want to tell you some positive things or not those negative things only, but somehow it's so crazy that I am so suppressing this part. I didn't see that much. But I feel it. I feel like when I would bring it up,
Yeah.
I could cry because I love him so much. Yeah.
So is this a yes or a no?
Yeah.
I can talk to that part or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to imagine you as this part. I need you to just step back. Right? Just imagine yourself stepping back. I want you to bring forward, let that part come forward that just wants the relationship with them, that wants to keep going over there, and all that. The part that could cry because of how much it loves them. I want to talk to that part.
Yeah.
And only that part for a moment.
Yeah. Okay. I feel somehow very happy, and I never felt like happy when I thought about them.
Well, tell me about them. Tell me what you love.
That they're caring, and somehow and would do anything for me, even if it's like a different thing I would do to make someone happy. That's just their way to do it, and I appreciate that.
Can you as this part get more clear about doing anything? Because the other part of you that we were just talking to is pretty convinced that there's one thing they won't do for you.
Yeah, I saw that right now. Yeah, that's difficult. I feel like they are, after some time, after they thought through some things I said or I want, that they are going to be with me and support me in every way they can. And that was very difficult to see. Yeah.
So you have a fundamental disagreement with the other part. The other part's like, it doesn't matter what I do, they will never do this. And you're like, yes, they will.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I want to know which one of you is in reality.
The part that loves them.
You.
Yeah. Me.
Do you know the other one thinks that it's in reality?
Yes, it does.
Because here's the pattern that you're caught in. You're the one that has that hope, right? That no matter, like, one day they're gonna see your emotions. One day they're gonna be what you envision, right?
Yeah.
And so you're it's almost like you're seeing their potential.
Yeah.
Do you understand that even though somebody has a potential, they're not gonna potentially choose that?
Yes. Yes.
So what's happening with you right now is that you're the one that keeps going back home and being disappointed. Going back home and being disappointed. So you're walking through the door with a different expectation, actually, than what happens.
Yeah.
Which is why you're in a repetitive loop, because it's like if you do the same thing expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. Do you see that?
Yes.
So what could you do to get different results instead of the same thing, just hoping for them to change?
Well, I feel like I always blame them for not being right to me, but also I have to try to be more appreciative towards them and do more on my part. Just not that I'm wrong or something, but because I'm very distant from them, that I'm allowing to be more intimate with them. Is intimate the right word? Like more close, yeah.
What do you think of the other part?
It's just in this child mode from like 15 years ago. And
so you don't think it's a very valid need then? It sounds like.
No. That's a real valid need to today.
Then why call it childish and from 15 years ago?
Yeah, okay, no, that's not from 15 years ago. It's right now. Yeah, but that's where it all began in my head, so that it built up and so on. Yeah, but that's a need right now I have.
Yeah. Here, so that was good. You gave a little bit of leeway. What you said is that other part has a need, and I see it as a valid need.
Yeah.
Okay. It was good.
Yeah.
Have you considered the potential of getting that need met somewhere else?
Yes.
Why is that not okay?
Yeah.
Why is that not okay? Because when I say that, your whole energy field when I said that was like, ugh.
No, I feel like there was a time where I tried really, really, really hard to get me met with people who were just a complete reflection of
them.
Pushing me away and not appreciating me. And I was just fighting to get that potential out to be the nicest person who loves me. But
can I tell you why that happened?
Yeah.
Because you still haven't given up on getting that from grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
So you're going to find people who are just like them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because now I'm really, the people that were like them are now just, I'm really pushing them away in my life and really have some hate for them. Now I have people in my life where I really feel appreciated and loved. I feel like my friend life and my family life are just two extremely different parts where my life without them feels like the people that are there are so rare and beautiful and and then the family part is just like
Okay, what I want you to do is to imagine, again, now you're going to imagine stepping out of your body right now.
Okay.
And I want you to see those two parts that we were just talking to right in front of you. What do you notice about them?
I feel like my family part is just gray and like small and like I just like saw an old grandma or something, just like just like small and depressing. And I feel like the other part is just light and colors and yeah.
So sitting on the outside of them, what does each of them need? What does that one that you're judging as the grandma part need? Because you understand they both have very powerful needs. The question is, what is it and why?
Yeah. Well, the grandma part needs support. So crazy. Support and love and just people around her that just be with her no matter what. Sorry.
What I want you to start to get into the energy of, see that little parts work session that I did with you,
yeah.
Your system's actually getting maxed out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes just touching into those two parts, knowing that they're still polarized right now, you can feel that, right? But it's almost like they're hypersensitive to having enough awareness placed on them. So I don't want to push your system further than that. But what we accomplish just then doing that is the awareness of what those needs are. Now then, maybe from this more objective space, you can see whether some of those needs are going to be met through grandma and grandpa and whether they can't be met through grandma and grandpa. Because what's draining you so much, going back into that relationship over and over again with this, doing the same thing and expecting different results, right, is because of that expectation. You're drained because you walk through the door expecting, that part of you that's hopeful and a little kid, really, is hoping that one day they're going to turn to you and validate your emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's like a 1,000-foot crash every time that they prove to you, no, it's still the same. Nope, still the same. Nope, still the same. And it throws you in that same loop of like self-doubt.
Yeah.
But that's happening because you're not expecting them to not accept you.
Yes.
So I want you to consider that looking at these two parts. What would be so scary about accepting that they will never accept you? They're never going to validate you emotionally. It's not going to happen.
That I always will have this shitty situation with my family and never have this emotional support and understanding. It is always that my family is always going to be a bad part of my life.
Do you know, what if that doesn't have to be the case? What I mean by that is that, like, there's this one principal need it sounds like you really want, which is emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
Do you realize that's just one need? It's a need upon which other things are built. I will grant you that. It's a root. Because if somebody has emotional intimacy, right, then they know enough about you to know how to meet other needs. But what I need you to start graduating into is the idea that if it's right for you to keep someone in your life, which is what I'm hearing right now. Like, what I'm hearing from you is, I don't want to push them out of my life entirely. I just want this need met. So then what that says to me is, I'm going to keep these people in my life. If that's the case, then how can you make that not painful? And my answer is going to be that you walk through the door expecting them to not give a shit about your emotions. And then if you did expect that, how would you behave differently? I want you to kind of think about it like this. Like, imagine that you know, because you went swimming in the water, you've got a pond in your backyard. You went swimming in the water and you've got a snapping turtle in the water, right? So every time you stepped in the water, it snapped your toe. You're drained because you keep going back in being like, maybe this time it will just, like, lick me. and then next holiday, maybe we can swim around the pool. Right? So my question is, if you knew that was going to happen, what would you do differently in that water? And that if you're determined to keep people who are, like this in your life, you got to go in understanding what they are in order to figure out what type of needs they might actually be able to meet.
Yeah.
I want people to graduate into the understanding that most people have a gift, and it's about figuring out what the hell that is. Not really expecting that person to offer what they can't offer or won't. It's actually a won't in this case. Won't offer.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I thought about just accepting what they are.
That's the best thing you could possibly do. So I accept that they will show me love financially.
Yeah.
That is something that they give you. What are some other things?
What?
What are some other things?
Some other things?
Some other things besides just finance.
Other things. What they give me?
Yeah, like what needs are met through them? What are they good at? How about you start there?
Food.
Okay. So just you can keep going because you could do a list 5 miles long, but I'm going to stop you here. Is finances a need for you? In general?
Yes.
Then they meet that need. Is food a need for you?
Yes.
Then they meet that need. So there are several needs that you can actually get met there.
Yeah.
If you accepted that you will never get that need of emotional connection met by them, what would you do differently?
Don't expect them to meet it and accept the needs that they give me.
Yeah, exactly. But what would that make you do differently? See, I'll give you an example of what it would mean for me. If I accepted that, then I would definitely not go around them if I knew that I was in a vulnerable state. Because if I have really painful emotions coming up and I need somebody to be present with those emotions, I know that they're just going to get compounded, meaning that emotional wounding is going to get exacerbated by them in that moment. So what it would mean if I accepted that they would never do that is I would not go around them if I was in a really bad state. I wouldn't pick up the telephone and call them first. What it would mean is that when I walk through the door, I would probably not lay out all of my emotions. What it would mean is that I would be a lot more interested. See, if I was going to work people like that in, like really getting who they are, because this is part of the thing, you can't see them because you're expecting them to be so different, right? You can't see the snapping turtle. So it's like, if I'm going to see the snapping turtle, then I got to understand that species. So I would get, if I was in your perspective, a lot more curious about them. Why do they hold this perspective around emotions? What is it that makes them tick? And so I start becoming a master at like how to communicate with them and how to interact with them. And actually that's where you get like much more leeway for a relationship, is not by desperately demanding to be understood. It's by understanding them.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, another thing that I would do is before I walked through that door, I would talk to and like take care of, I mean powerfully take care of, the part of me that desperately wants them to meet my emotional needs. Because that's, when you say I don't even know who the fuck I am when I walk through the door, that's what's happening. It's a parts takeover. It's the part of you that like is so committed to that loving, they finally see me relationship that it takes over your body. And it's all of a sudden you're this 3-year-old wanting approval again. So if I knew I wasn't going to get it from them, I would be, it's what you haven't been doing, right? You get that. You've been sort of like, I'm not okay with that part. Like, I don't want it to exist.
Yeah.
That prevents you from taking loving care of that part before you walk through the door. The part that has to be, in not so many words, explained that this is a snapping turtle pond. So is there anything I can do for you, this little part of me, right now, so that we can walk through the door and not expect our toe to not get bitten? And by the way, I have to mention on this workshop that for some people the answer will be, I don't want people in my life like this, and that can be okay. But that's not, that the reason I'm going in this direction with you, where you've got to powerfully accept them and accept that you're going to get bitten, is it makes it so you're not in hell. Because it's like, I don't want to be in pain with these people in my life, but I want them in my life. Then you have no other option than to completely reconfigure the way you're interacting. That's your option.
Yes. Yeah, totally. That was always just like...
So stop trying to be loved by them so hard. And this is not, you deserve to find love and get those emotional needs met. But stop trying to be loved by them so hard. And stop trying to love them so hard. And start trying to understand them.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, my suggestion to you beyond what I've just said is that you can work with these two parts.
Yeah.
I want you to start really working with those two parts, but...
Yes.
They're both fine.
Nice. Okay. That's very good. And I'm gonna do the parts work.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you liked this video, be sure to share it, like it, and also subscribe to my channel so you can see more content like this. But I want to personally thank you for taking the initiative and having the bravery to step into the space of awareness, not only for yourself, but for the benefit of those around you.